Assalamu alaikum. Good evening to all those who have joined us live on our Facebook JK Scientists group, or those who are joining live on our Zoom platform. Today, we are very excited to have a session or a joint session on postgraduate and PhD scholarships for students who intend to pursue their higher studies in Southeast Asia, particularly China, Hong Kong, Korea, Taiwan, and Malaysia. We have been waiting long for this session, so we are really thankful to all the speakers who are joining us live from different parts of South Asia. We are joined by Dr. Ibrahim Sheikh. Dr. Ibrahim Sheikh did his PhD in mathematics from Busan National University, Busan. We are also joined by Sarwar Hussain. Sarwar Hussain is currently a graduate student at Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, KAIST. He was previously on a presidential fellowship to one of the prominent institutions, Chinese Academy of Sciences in China. We are also joined by Anayat Ali. Anayat is a graduate student at Tongji University, Shanghai, China. We are also joined by Shabir Hussain. Shabir Hussain has been a long-term volunteer for JK Scientists. He was our lead for China chapter. He has done his master's from Hefei University of Technology, Anhui, China, and he has recently moved to National Taiwan Ocean University in Taiwan. We are also joined by Umayya Muzaffar. Umayya is joining us live from Malaysia. She is a graduate student at University Putra, Malaysia. Umayya is also a volunteer and she volunteers for our outreach programs. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. So in this session, we'll be discussing about different types of scholarships that one can avail in China, Hong Kong, Korea, Taiwan, and Malaysia. So there are different opportunities for students, and I personally believe that looking at the infrastructure and the quality of education that these institutions in these particular countries are offering, so I believe that students who would be traveling for education to these countries would be benefited for sure. So particularly emphasizing that these countries that we have targeted today are spending a large amount of money on or GDP on the science, and they are doing quality science. So before we start the formal session, or while these speakers of ours will be discussing different types of fellowships, I would kindly request first Ibrahim Sheikh to kindly introduce himself to the audience. Give me a brief bio of himself. Dr. Ibrahim, please.
Good evening, everybody, and good morning to those who are having morning. My name is Muhammad Ibrahim Sheikh, and I recently completed my PhD from Busan National University, Busan, South Korea, and today I feel very thankful to the JK Scientist community for giving me the opportunity to interact with the different students so that I can share my experience which I gained while living in Korea. So today I will talk about the scholarship, especially the Global Korea Scholarship, which is offered by the Korean government. And I'll tell briefly the procedure, how to apply, and what are the requirements for the scholarship.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Ibrahim. So next, Mr. Sarwar Hussain, please, can you introduce yourself and give a brief bio about yourself?
Yeah, greetings to all of you, and I hope you are doing well. It's really a pleasure and honor for me, and you have provided me a chance to be here in this session. And basically, if I explain you, if I tell you that I did my master's in electrical engineering from Busan National University, and then I am graduate student at Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, while I'm working on energy storage and conversion. We're dealing with, we're using the applications of deep learning also. So we hope this session will be fruitful to the aspiring students.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sarwar. Umayya Muzaffar.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank JK Scientists for organizing this event. I'm a graduate student at University Putra, Malaysia. I recently joined my PhD in 2020. I did my master's from Jamia Hamdard, New Delhi. Currently, I'm working on engineered stem cells in COVID-19. So I hope this session will be fruitful for the aspiring students who wish to come to Malaysia for the higher studies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Umayya. So, Mr. Inayat.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to all of you for joining us today. My name is Anayat Ali, and I have completed my master's in 2019 in civil engineering. And currently, I'm a PhD student at Tongji University, Shanghai, and I'm working on earthquake-resistant design structures. I would like to thank JK Scientists for giving us this opportunity to talk about different scholarship opportunities in Southeast Asia. Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Inayat. Shabir Hussain, please.
First of all, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Shabir Hussain Malik. I'm a student of management science from Huffy University of Technology. Recently, I have joined NTOU, National Taiwan Ocean University. So here I am here I am risk management and food safety student. Means I am a food science student here. So I'm working here on oyster shell and water treatment. So my lab is actually food science and sustainability. And I'm very thankful to JK Scientists to providing us this kind of opportunity. So I hope that it will be very beneficial for other seekers who wish to study in Taiwan and China. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shabir. If we have some presentations from speakers, which will be just brief, we don't want to bore our participants. It will be just max 3 or 4 slides. So which will kind of be focused on the scholarships. Can we start with Dr. Ibrahim, please, first?
Can you see my slides?
Yeah, I request all the participants who are joining us, please mute yourself. Yeah, it's there, Dr. Ibrahim, please go ahead.
Okay. My topic is, as I earlier told you, that I will briefly discuss about the Korean government scholarship or Global Korea Scholarship Program, which is being offered by the Korean government. Before moving ahead, I would like to tell my audience that this scholarship, I feel, is one of the best scholarships for those who want to pursue their higher education in South Korea. So there are only three slides. In these 3 slides, I would tell the procedure how to apply for this scholarship. And yes, so if we talk about the eligibility criteria for this scholarship, a person should be a foreign citizen, and there is some age bar, like the age should not exceed 40 years, and the CGPA of the candidate should be 2.46 if we calculate on the scale of 4. And if we are having the percentage criteria, then we should have at least 80% marks. And for a candidate can apply for masters as well as PhD and for postdoc on this scholarship. So for a master's student, obviously he should have a bachelor degree, and for a PhD student, he should have a master degree, and obviously for a postdoc, he should have a PhD. And there are few universities in Korea where you need IELTS or TOEFL or some other Korean language tests. But not all the universities in South Korea ask for these tests. While if we talk about the medium of instruction on this scholarship, I don't think there is no anything worry about the language issue, because in the coming slides I will tell that why one should not worry about the language. And there are 2 ways for the application process of this scholarship. One can apply either through embassy or directly through the university. If we talk about the benefits of this scholarship is one does not need to pay any tuition fee, and the candidate who gets this scholarship, if he is going for master or PhD, he will get a stipend of 1,000 USD every month, and for a postdoc he can get 1,500 USD every month, and plus one can get the to and fro air tickets while when he starts the degree program. He will get the air ticket, and after completing the degree he will again get the air ticket. So the two procedures are like if one is applying through university, then he need to send some documents which are required for this scholarship. For example, in this case, I'm discussing, for example, if we are selecting Busan National University as the where one wants to apply, so he need to send all the documents to the postal address of this particular university, and then the Busan National University, after getting the documents, they will forward the documents to the NIIED. For those who wish to apply for this scholarship, I can share some extra information with those candidates, or I can inbox them here as well, where they can get the other informations where to apply for this scholarship. Yes, so after getting after NIIED gets the documents of the candidate, then the NIIED shortlist the candidates, and then there will be 2 interviews. There will be 2 rounds. First round they get the shortlisting, and after this second round is the final round of this scholarship, and that's after second round, I think one who qualifies the second round, and I think he's done with this scholarship. And while as if a candidate applies through embassy, there's one benefit for applying through embassy. That's one can select 3 universities. He or she has 3 options, not only one option. Just like I told that in case of university track, you can just choose one university. There are 59 universities given listed by NIIED who offer Korean government scholarship or GKS, and candidates from different countries. In fact, 146 countries, candidates from 146 countries are eligible for this scholarship through university track. So if one is applying through university track, then he has to compete with the students from 146 countries. So I think university track is a bit competitive. While as in embassy track, one has 3 options. He can select 3 universities in Korea, and there are 59 universities in the list, and he can select 3 out of these 59 universities. And one has an option to prioritize the universities. In this case, if we prioritize, if one wish to study in PNU for some reasons, then he can keep PNU as first priority. And for those who want to apply for this scholarship through embassy track, they just need to fill an application form provided by the NIIED by hand, and then keep some other documents like which I will tell in the next slides what are the required documents. He or she just need to send that copy of filled application form along with the required documents to the Korean embassy in New Delhi, or one can, I think for Kashmiri J&K students, New Delhi embassy is the best option. Otherwise, there are other embassies like one can send from Chennai or Mumbai as well. So what are the documents for the two tracks, university track and embassy track? First, I will tell what are the documents required for applying through this embassy track. So as I earlier told that embassy, when we submit our documents to the embassy will send those documents to NIID, and then they will send, in fact, they will send to the NIID after shortlisting the candidates, and then NIID will interview the students. There will be 2 rounds, as I earlier told, and after the second round is the final decision of the scholarship. Yes, the different documents are the application form, which is provided on the website of the studyinkorea.com. I can share, I will share these slides after finishing this presentation, and the different links where one can get this application form. And one who wants to apply for this scholarship, the personal statement, statement of purpose, and the personal medical assessment. One should be careful while writing his personal statement and statement of purpose before applying this scholarship. And if one has IELTS, and I think that's the plus point to get this scholarship, and passport of the candidate and the passport of his or her parents is mandatory. One should keep a copy of the passport of as well as of his parents. And there should be 2 letters of recommendation from the institute where one has graduated. For example, if you are applying for masters, then you need to get 2 recommendation letters from the university where you did your bachelor's. And there is another agreement form provided by the Global Korea Scholarship, which you need to attach with this application form. And there's one more document, that's family registration certificate, which one can get from any notary. And there are degree and transcripts, degree certificate of the previous course completed, and the transcript. I would like to mention here that these degree and transcripts should be both apostilled. One can apostille these 2 documents from New Delhi. There is I hope the JK scientists have already discussed. Sorry, is someone asking something? Okay, so I think there is some background noise. So these were the documents prepared for the embassy track. And if we talk about the university track, for example, we are choosing Pusan National University to apply for this scholarship, or you can choose any other universities listed by the NIID. In this case, you just need to submit the documents to the postal address of the Pusan National University, and then Pusan National University will send those documents again to NIID, and then NIID will decide whether they will give you the scholarship or not, because they will interview you twice. So the documents in this case needed are almost the same. I think all the documents are same, which I mentioned in the earlier slide for the embassy track. So this was the brief intro how to apply and what are the requirements for the Korean government scholarship. And I hope the audience got the points what I told and how to apply for this scholarship. And that's it. For further queries, you can reach me at this email address. Thank you for having your attention. Yeah.
Sir, I have a question, please.
Just wait on. We'll take up the questions. We have a continuation to Korean scholarships. Please wait. You have been raising your hand number of times. We'll allow you. So in continuation to Korea fellowships, we have a second system to enter into Korean universities. Sarwar Hussain, please, can you share your slides? Ibrahim, please stop your sharing your slides. And I request everybody to please keep yourself muted unless asked for. Do not, disturb us, please. Yeah, please, Sarwar Hussain, please.
Thank you for giving me a chance. Before I proceed, let me tell you that I was reading a book recently. The title of the book is Think Again. It is written by, the title of the book is Adam Grant's. The author says that and there were a group of students who built what has been called as the Harvard's first online social networking website. Before they entered the college, they had already connected more than 8 students as a freshman. And when they got into the Cambridge, they abandoned the group and the network, and they shut it down. 5 years later, Mark Zuckerberg came and he started the Facebook on the same campus. And the students who had earlier created the online social networking group, they felt some pangs of regret because they had never envisioned what Facebook or any other social network would become. And those students clearly missed a series of chances of rethinking the potential of their platform. I know that this pandemic, COVID-19 has left us high and dry, so we should keep us motivated. We should never leave any chance to get admission in any other university or any other foreign university. Data scientist is providing you every kind of help, every information that you need to apply while if you have to apply for higher education or if you want to go for the bachelor's. So today I want to, as Dr. Ibrahim Sheikh told you, opportunities, higher education opportunities in South Korea. So I will just give you apart from that, how you can approach different universities and what is the admission criteria for different universities. The first question that comes in my mind is why South Korea or why East China? If you have a look at this figure in the left, and you can see that top 7 or top 8 universities lie in the top 100 universities among South Korea. So this is not only the ranking. Apart from this, there are other research institutes, like we have University of Science and Technology, we have Korea Institute of Science and Technology, we have Gwangju Institute of Science and Technology. The research output of these institutes is at par with highly competitive institutions. If you go across the different rankings provided, whether it is provided by the Times Higher Education or KIOS or any other institution. And these institutions, they provide you an opportunity to work in the state of research art, and they can provide you an option to collaborate with the leading authors in the relevant world. And there is some misconception in the students that they will face some sort of alienity or some sort of there will be a tension of culture. So I'll explain the next slide. There is nothing to be like that. If I look at the timeline of the admission procedures, universities in Korea, they offer admissions twice a year. And that is one is the spring semester, and the application period of this semester starts from August to October. And for the fall semester, the admission timeline that is from January to March. But this date is tentative. There are some universities, and the date for the spring and fall semester, it can be before or after the August. And I will tell you the most important point, that some universities offer 2 or 3 rounds of admissions per semester. If I take the example of SKK University in Seoul, and that university provides almost 3 rounds of admission per semester. So you should not worry that if you miss any chance if you miss one chance in spring or fall semester, you can have second chance, or you can have third chances. And there are different motivations. That first is that you have to look for, if you are really curious about the different types of scholarships, and if you want to need the GPA percentage, whether it matters or not. So you have to initiate yourself. You have to kickstart your dreams, or you have to plan that I have to apply for different scholarships. That my GPA, if my GPA is low, I will explain in the later slides that how GPA matters and what are the other parameters. If I have low GPA, or I don't have social skills, then I will explain that how we are going to overcome that problem. And the second thing is that we have to leave our laziness. One has to gird up his loins, and he has to prepare himself, and he should not worry that I am acquainted with the conditions of our valley, so we should not keep those things in the mind. And while applying, you will face a lot of failures, and because you know that failures are the pillars of success, so you will face failures. You will be rejected by 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 universities, but you have to show your dedication. You have to show your willpower. You have to show your will, that you have to go through that admission process. You have to go through that universities where you are going to target. And the final point is that you should not feel like that if I'm going to any other country, that there is the transition of culture, you will feel some sort of alien, and you will feel some sort of racism. You don't have to bother about those conditions. You have to mind your own business. You have to deal with your research work, and that is all that you have to do. Most of the times I get questions from students that is there any opportunity for undergraduate programs, like we have bachelor's in engineering or bachelor's in science. There are some universities like Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology where you can go for bachelor's degree, and there are different tracks. One is the university track, other is the Korean government scholarship program. I don't want to touch that program because that program is already told by Dr. Ibrahim Sheikh. And in the university track, you can apply for Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology or any other universities. But most of the times I see most of the students are from this institute, Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology. And for the graduate scholarships, there are different scholarships, like we have university scholarship, we have institute scholarships, we have professor scholarships, and third is the Korean government scholarship program. And this is same as for the bachelor's. And again, I'm not going to touch that topic. And there are some universities like top institutes, if you are going for SNU, if you are going for postgraduate, if you are going for CAST, even though IELTS or TOEFL is not needed in some of the institutions, because some of the institutions, they exempt IELTS or TOEFL for Indian or Pakistani students or any other country where the medium of instruction is English. But if you have this score, IELTS or TOEFL score, you really have the advantages. And in the professor scholarships, there are different projects a professor is having. So you don't need to worry about the life expenses here, and he can provide you some sort of scholarship from his funds. And if I have a look at what are the factors or what are the parameters that affect the admission process of undergraduate or graduate students. So far as undergraduate studies are concerned, the GPA or percentage of 12th standard is mandatory, and according to the analysis that I did here, this is for the bachelor's program only. You can go for the bachelor's program in engineering or science, but there's no bachelor's program in medical science. So if you have these criterions like you have your percentages more than 80%, you should apply. If I was like you, I would definitely apply at this institution, because when we see the final project of these or thesis or the of master students, the novelty of those projects and the novelty of those projects that are submitted by the bachelor students are really nice. And one thing I want to tell you that some of the criteria is given to programming skills and the time spent during the applications, as Dr. Ibrahim told you, that the statement of purpose or the research proposal is needed. The research proposal is needed for graduate programs, not for the bachelor's program, but I am saying that time spent during the application. If you have the IELTS or TOEFL exam, that really helps you. And there is one more exam that's called the SAT exam. You can see on the right side of this here, figure that what is the SAT exam. So there are different sections and different subsections that it is having, and out of 1600 marks, you need to get more than 1200. And if you are having these parameters, and there will be more chances that you will get scholarship. And if we talk about graduate programs, here master's or PhD program is considered as the graduate program. And if you are applying for the master's program, your GPA or your percentage of bachelor's degree is considered, your skills are considered, your programming skills are considered, like if you are expert in Python, if you are expert in MATLAB, if you are expert in R or any other program, is that program, that level of technique or that level of skill is checked by your professor before he will give you a nod. If he is giving you a nod, it means giving you some sort of finger to hold, and what you are supposed to do is you have to hold his hand. And for the PhD program, and this is one of the same thing, but what matters is the how many research papers or how many research skills you have. If I was like you, I would definitely apply for the graduate program. I would take the IELTS exam, because this exam will really increase the chances of your admission in any institution. If you are having any queries regarding the admission process, you can contact me. I will provide you the email in the chat box. You can check that. And thanks for listening to my presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sarwar. So next we have Umayya Muzaffar. Umayya is a graduate student at UPM. Umayya, I will just allow you to share your screen. Just give me a second. Yes, please, you can share your screen now, Umayya. And you can also unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible and my screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Khalid. Today I'm going to speak on the topic about the postgraduate and PhD scholarships in Malaysia. Since I'm a graduate student at University Putra Malaysia, I'll be discussing about various opportunities in different universities in Malaysia. So beginning with the universities that I have enlisted, the universities are differentiated into public universities and foreign universities that are under the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia. So the public universities that I've enlisted are in the QS ranking top 200, and among them University Malaya is top among top 50 universities, and UPM and USM and UKM are among top 150 universities. And talking about foreign universities, that is Monash University, University of Nottingham, Malaysia, and Heriot-Watt. They are highly recognized and fully funded universities for both masters and PhD students. So coming to the application process, so before applying to a university in Malaysia, there are certain considerations an applicant should consider. So I would suggest an applicant, before applying to a university directly, they should contact the supervisor before applying online. So when an applicant contacts the supervisor directly through the email professionally, so there is a chance that the application will be accepted 90% rather than directly applying online. So after the applicant gets the consent of the supervisor, so then they can apply online through the university websites in their desired universities, and then they can submit their general information, that is personal information, and submit their documents, that is transcripts and other mark sheets also. So similar to other Mr. Server said about IELTS, TOEFL, it is preferred but not mandatory. So for Indians, it's exempted, but it's better to appear in that. It's a boon for the students. And after submission of all the documents, you have to pay for your course, and then after paying, the student should wait for the offer letter and not hustle at the moment. Usually students get anxious, why aren't they receiving their offer letter after 1 month? So the process takes time. So a person should be calm who has applied for the university admissions. So once the applicant gets the offer from the university, they have to look for the scholarship opportunities. Since the master's and PhD programs, there are long-term courses, so a student should have a financial aid to support their living and education. So there are certain scholarships that are given to an applicant in Malaysia. So the TWAS fellowship, it is given annually, and especially it's collaborated with University Science Malaysia. It's a fully funded scholarship for masters and PhD both. So an applicant, before applying, before the deadline is over, and the applicant should be very cautious about the deadline. So once the application is out, the student should have all the documents ready. So, and after the documents are submitted, they should be double checked or triple checked. Rather, even if one document is missing, there is a chance of getting it rejected. Another similar scholarship is for masters only. It's Mtcp, provided by the Malaysian government. It provides fully funded scholarship for all the master's courses. So I'll be discussing it in detail in the further slides. Also for the agricultural PhD students, there is an Indian government scholarship, that is ICAR International Fellowship. It's for the period of 3 years. So it's a fully funded scholarship for the agricultural PhD students. So suppose the students get the admission or offer from the university, but they don't get any scholarship. So if they have a good contact with this with their supervisors, they can request for the university scholarships, or if the supervisor has a grant, they can provide them the monthly stipend through the university scholarships, that is SGRA or IGRF. And lastly, there is an undergrad scholarship for Indian students, that is Indian Scholarship and Trust Fund. It's a fully funded scholarship for undergrad Indian students. So here I would like to mention that since many students don't get the opportunity to come out, so the difference in the quality of undergrad and masters is much better once you come out. I have seen in undergrad and masters, students are doing better, I would say, much research as compared to the Indian universities. I have seen students writing papers. I'm a PhD student. I don't have that much experience as compared to the undergrad students, research students, they are here. So I would recommend students to come out in the undergrad level and gain much better experience in the research. So once the student selects any of the scholarships, they can move forward to the application process. So what are the requirements and considerations? The main thing is they should have a very concise and crisp CV or resume. It should be very concise, and the information should be true. Usually for filling their CV, they just write anything, and then the experience is usually vague. So it should be very concise and true. Also, the cover letter and SOP, it should demonstrate how you meet the criteria for the research position and what is the quality that makes you unique. So since JK Scientists is holding many sessions for how to write a crisp cover letter and SOP, students can join that, freshers. Also, the students should have a concise explanation of their proposed research. And lastly, the document should be very proper. Your mark sheets, degree certificates, transcripts, recommendation letters, and health certificate all should be ready before applying. So in brief, the student should, before applying for any scholarship, a student should read all the requirements for the scholarship, then keep the documents priorly ready. And once the student is very sure that the documents are ready, then only they should apply online, but not after the deadline. So the deadline should be kept in mind. So after applying, the student should follow up, and then the offer can be accepted, and the accepted offer letter should be submitted to the university for the further financial assistance. So this is the template of the Mtcp I discussed before. This is from the Malaysian government, and they provide the Malaysian Technical Cooperation Program Scholarship. This is for the master's students, and once you open this website, all the details will be opened, and all the details like who can apply for the scholarships, who are the countries, recipient countries which can apply for this scholarship. So the method, who can apply and how to apply, all the details are mentioned in this website. So there is the checklist should be followed very properly. And the eligibility criteria, what is the age requirement, what should be the CGPA and IELTS, and TOEFL results also matter. And the universities, which are the host universities, a student should study once they get the Mtcp scholarship. And the benefits include fully funded. It includes from cost of living to the visa fees. So it's a very good, I suggest it for the master's students, a very good scholarship who intend to further their masters in Malaysia. And usually they will show the fields of the areas of study the students are looking for. Only those can apply for the scholarship. So the selection criteria will be like high, that the CGPA should be about 3.0, and the English language is preferred. So the student should have good, excellent communication once they will go for the interview. As I'm studying in UPM, there are various university scholarships also, which the scholarship is granted by the supervisor if they have the grant. These are the various different scholarships the student can apply for. And after selecting any of the specific, sorry, I'm seeing something on my screen. Anyways, after selecting any of the scholarships, the student can fill in all the information and the documents they can apply for. Once the student submits the documents, the supervisor will provide them the grant letter, and after that, the admission section of the university will process the application. So I hope this information is useful for the students who aim to further their studies in Malaysia. I just would say that there should be very much proper focus, there should be consistency, and you should seek help from your mentors who are the expertise in this specific area. You can also contact me on this email. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Umayya, for such a brief, nice presentation, and where you discussed a lot of things briefly. So we have next Mr. Inayat Ali. Just I'm allowing you to share the screen. Inayat, just give me a second. Okay, yes, please.
So good evening, everyone. So I am going to talk about the scholarship opportunities in China and Hong Kong. So as Ibrahim Bhai, Server, and Umayya discussed it, the process is almost the same. So I will focus more about the scholarships available rather than the process, because almost the process is same. So first of all, these are some of the universities I have focused on here. These are some of the top universities which are located in China and Hong Kong. So there is a ranking around the world of these top universities. The Tsinghua University is there, Peking University is there, Shanghai Jietong University is there, and Tongji. These are some of the universities which are located in mainland China. So China is doing really good in research and education. And on the right side of the screen, there are some universities which are located in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is basically a small place, not that big if we compare it with China, but there are some good universities. If you can see, they have almost 5-6 universities in the top 100. So the scholarships are really good, and the education is really good in Hong Kong also. So these are the available scholarships in China. So mainly there are 4 scholarships, Chinese government scholarship, ANSO scholarship, university, and provincial government scholarship. All the scholarships have almost same coverage. Some scholarships have a different stipend, but the basic coverage is almost the same. So the Chinese government scholarship, the first one, it is provided by the Chinese Scholarship Council. So regarding the professor scholarships, in China, there are hardly any scholarships which are provided by the professors. The scholarships are directly provided by the government or the university. So first, this scholarship, Chinese government scholarship, is provided by the Chinese Scholarship Council, and they have around 200 scholarships in every university. So almost all the universities have this funding available for international students. So they provide around 200 scholarships every year for the masters and PhD students. So there are two ways to apply for this scholarship. One is embassy, you can apply through embassy, and the second is you can apply through directly to the university through a professor. I would recommend applying through university because that is the best way and the easiest way. And after that, there is this scholarship, ENSO scholarship. ENSO is already also by the, this scholarship is funded by the Chinese Academy of Science, CAS, and they provide scholarships around 200 for masters every year and 300 for PhD scholarship. This is one of the prestigious scholarships in China, but they only provide this scholarship in two institutions. One is USTC, University of Science and Technology, China, and another one is University of Chinese Academy of Sciences. So these two universities only provide this scholarship, so you can avail in if you are interested to study in these two universities. After that, there are university scholarships. University scholarships are almost available in every university in China, and there are provincial government scholarships also, which are also called as local government scholarships. Local government scholarships are provided in few provinces, like in Shanghai they have, which is called as Shanghai Government Scholarship. But in some provinces they don't have this scholarship. So coming to the coverage of this scholarship, almost all the scholarships have tuition fee waiver. If you are getting the scholarship, you will get tuition fee waiver. You don't have to pay any tuition fees. You will get free on-campus accommodation, and you will also get medical insurance, free medical insurance, and a stipend. So stipend is different for the ENSO and different for the CSC, but the amount is really good, standard. So you don't have to worry about that. So the application period is actually depends on the university to university. It is different from university to university, but generalized period is from November, almost from November, December. Every university starts the application process, and in March, April, the application process ends. Some universities end the application process in Feb, but they start early. They start in maybe in October ending. So this is the average application period. After that, there is this scholarship, which is highly competitive and very prestigious. I would recommend this scholarship to everyone who is interested to study in Hong Kong. And let me add here, Hong Kong is one of the best places to study, to do research in Asia, if you are interested. So this was established by Research Grants Council of Hong Kong in 2009, and they have around 300 scholarships per year, per academic year. And this scholarship is for only for the 8 universities which are in Hong Kong. So it's around 40 seats per university. So they have a really good, they provide a really good stipend, which is around 41,400 USD per year for up to 3 years for PhD students. And if someone is interested in PhD directly from the bachelor's program, and he has done something, he has these selection criteria, he has the academic excellence, he has good GPA, he can directly join PhD in Hong Kong from the bachelor's program. So they directly recruit highly interested students to their PhD program. If you have academic excellence, if you have research ability, if you have published some work in your bachelor's degree, you can directly join the PhD program. You don't have to go through the master's program. So in the research, in the selection, they usually focus on these 4 points, which is academic excellence, in which your GPA, CGPA comes. So research ability and potential. So if you have done some research in your master's or in your final year bachelor's program, you have published some work or you have unpublished work, thesis kind of. So they also consider that. And communication and interpersonal skills. If you have IELTS or TOEFL score, that gives you an advantage, as Server by Umaya mentioned. So that will give you an edge if you have that score. And leadership abilities. So leadership abilities, if you have done something at your college level, you have organized few programs, or if you are a voluntary somewhere, like some of us are doing with the JK scientists. So you can add that also in your CV, and that will create an impact. So application for period for this scholarship is every year. It starts in September, 1st September, and the 1st December is the last date. So this is a really highly competitive scholarship. And in Hong Kong, the university scholarships are almost available throughout the year. You can anytime approach a professor in Hong Kong and ask him for the funding and everything. So if he is really interested and if your profile is good, he can recruit you on university scholarship. So moving on to the next slide. So application process is almost same as Sarvar by Umayya discussed. So if you are interested in studying in China or Hong Kong, you just have to shortlist a university. You have to visit the, we check if your program is offered by the university or not. And then you have to go to the department. You have to check the professors list. So professors profiles are always mentioned on the university website, on the department website. You have to check their research work. If that research work matches with your research interests, you can email him with your CV. There are a lot of templates on the JK Science Facebook page. You can check from there. You can send them CV. You can request them for the acceptance letter. So for every scholarship, this is the first step. So you approach a professor, and if he is interested, he likes your profile, he will reply back, and then you have to fill in the application form. So application form is really simple. There are not so much complications. You just have to, if you are applying through a government scholarship, you have to fill that application first, and then you have to fill the university application. You don't have to send hard copies or anything. Everything is online. So these are the basic documents which you need at the time of admission. You need your graduation certificate or degree certificate. But in China, there is one more option if you are in your final semester. And for example, if you are right now in your 8th semester and you will graduate before June 2022, you can still apply currently in the Chinese universities, because they kind of consider that he will graduate before joining the host university. So you can apply on a certificate which is called as Hope Certificate. So you also need your academic transcripts of your bachelor and master. If you are applying for master, then only the transcript of your bachelor's degree. And if you are applying for PhD, then both bachelor's and master's transcript. So you need 2 recommendation letters also in China. So usually they accept the hard copies of recommendation letters. They don't directly email or approach your recommenders. And after that comes the personal statement, which is one of the important document in your scholarship application. So you can mention your experience in that, research experience or academic excellence if you have any, and you can also mention your planned research work and what you are planning to do after you graduate from join that university, and why are you choosing that university. So these are some few points you can mention. And also you will need a physical health report. You can get that sample online, which is available. So you just have to fill that up and sign it by a doctor, a registered doctor. So you have to keep in mind that should be within the last 6 months. So that's a kind of mandatory document when you are applying in China. So most of the universities do not require IELTS or TOEFL score, but only some few universities require. So if you have studied your bachelor's or master's, the last degree from an English medium school or college, so you don't need any English standard test score. So you are exempted from that. And the last, you will need your research proposal. So usually for masters who are interested in master's degree, they don't have to submit a research proposal in advance. But for PhD, this is a mandatory document. You have to submit a research proposal before, at the time of applying to the university. So I would like to mention here, if some bachelor students are here who are interested in studying in China, they can also apply through some government and provincial scholarships. There are availability. So, and there are courses available in English medium also at bachelor's level. And in masters and PhD, there are around 60% courses degrees are available in English medium, and 40% are available in Chinese medium. So if someone is applying in Chinese, he has to go through a 1-year language program, which is also funded by the government. then he can join the main program. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anayat. It has been wonderful listening to something about China, which have left a long factor of time. So adding up to what you said, having lived in China for a long period of time, I would really, all the participants who have joined us today or who will be watching us live on YouTube, Chinese universities are some of the finest work. They are doing wonderful science and they have got very, very good infrastructure. So it's highly recommended to apply to Chinese universities as well. I do not know that why do we have it in at the back of our mind that China is a third world country, which is not. And I would say from my personal experiences living in China for around 2 years that they are really doing wonderful. Thank you, Anayat. So next we have with us Shabir Hussain. Shabir, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, sure, sir.
Thank you.
Should I start now?
Yes, Shabir, you can start. Please do a slideshow of your slides and you can do it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Today we will discuss about study in Taiwan. So I want to tell in a brief, Taiwan is a very good destination to study master or PhD or postdoc because Taiwan is very good at research and development, and Taiwan has a great funding for research. So I think this is one of the great destination for Indian students to pursue higher education. So today we will discuss about it, its scholarship, how to get scholarship, and how to apply, and what are the requirements. So these are some things that we will discuss here. So myself, Shabir Hussain once again, and I'm currently enrolled at NTOU National Taiwan Ocean University. So we will start here. Okay, if we talk about the Taiwan is very small country, like Kashmir. But when we talk about its education, it has very good education, and most of university they offer, English taught programs. So if we talk about its universities, it has very world class universities. So there are almost 15 universities which are under the 1,000 US ranking universities. So the most of programs are in English taught. If we talk about any other countries, like if we talk about China, Malaysia, or any South Asian countries, there are there are programs in Chinese or in other languages. But when we talk about Taiwan, Taiwan offers fully English taught programs, so we don't need to worry about language. The third step is it's very easy to get job after masters or PhD, because there are many good companies in Taiwan which recruit many graduate students every year. So if we talk about the semiconductor company, the most of students from electronics or computer science, they get settled in Taiwan because they have many vacancies for these students. You can easily move to US, UK, or any other European countries once you will be graduate from Taiwan, because Taiwan has very good affiliation with Europe and US. So it's very easy to take flight from Taiwan. Now, the fourth point is explore Chinese culture and learn Mandarin. So if we talk about, Chinese language, if you come to Taiwan, it's very easy for you people to learn because teachers, they are very humble and they are very good heart. So you can learn Chinese language and learn the Chinese culture. Okay, now we will discuss about scholarships. What are the scholarships in Taiwan? So there are mainly two kinds of scholarship in Taiwan. That is government scholarship or university scholarship. So we will discuss, what kind of scholarships are in government scholarship or what are the university scholarships. Okay, so if we look at the slide, there are many scholarships like MOE scholarship, and the second one is Mofa scholarship, and the third one is MOST scholarship, and the fifth one is TIGP fellowship. Okay, when we talk about the MOE scholarship, Minister of Affairs scholarship, so usually you have to apply from your embassy, Taiwan embassy, which are in New Delhi or Chennai. You have to apply through your embassy, and your embassy, they will shortlist their candidates who are successful in the scholarship. So in this scholarship, it is very easy. Here I have this paste here, so you can have a look. This is this scholarship. Hanyu is actually Chinese scholarship. It's two kind of scholarship. One is MOE scholarship for bachelor's, master's, and PhD students, and Hanyu scholarship is for those who want to study Chinese, because in China, in Taiwan, there's Hanyu very good. I mean, there is Chinese very good study for students who wish to study Chinese language. Okay, the second scholarship is Mofa scholarship. It is actually a government scholarship, which is offered by Taiwanese government. So in this scholarship, you have to apply through its official website, and they will select some students who will successful there. The most scholarship also there, like Mofa scholarship. So I will discuss it later. It's official link where you have to apply. So the fifth one is TIGP. TIGP is one of the prestigious scholarship, which is offered by every national university and one of the great research institute, that is Academia Sinica. And basically, Academia Sinica is a research institute which has very good ranking in Taiwan as well as worldwide. So you can apply for masters as well as PhD. So these are some government scholarships where you can apply. Okay, now we will talk about university scholarships. So there are more than 70 universities which offer scholarship to international students. So there are public and private universities. So if we talk about the public universities, I think there are more than 150 universities which belong to public, which are under the government. So there are also some private universities which also offers many scholarships for international students. Now we will discuss about the benefits of government scholarships like MOE, Mofa scholarship. Okay, if we talk about the MOE scholarship, means Minister of Affairs scholarship, it's full tuition waiver. You don't need to pay anything, and the free medical insurance. So it cover your insurance and free campus accommodation. So you don't need worried about your accommodation because university will provide you free accommodation. And talking about the monthly stipend, so it provides you 15,000 NTD, national Taiwan dollars, NTD, Taiwanese dollars for undergraduate, and 20,000 for master or PhD candidates. So this scholarship is very good because it's sufficient to live here in Taiwan. Because if you get 20,000, that's more than sufficient because it will cover your monthly expenses. Okay, now we will there's one more scholarship. Wait a moment. Okay, Mofa scholarship. Mofa scholarship also have prestigious scholarship, which provides you about 30,000 NTD per month. So this is very competitive scholarship, but if you get selected, I think it has very good, it has a bright future, I can say, because it provides you one direct around trip economical class tickets. It means you don't need to pay for your tickets. They will also cover your round trip. Okay. Now we will discuss about the benefits of a university scholarship. Okay, mostly the students, they apply for university scholarship. They are unaware about the government scholarships because if you get selected from government scholarships, you have many benefits here. So now we will take a look about the university scholarships. For bachelor students, you will get stipend up to 9,000. It doesn't mean 9,000 accurately. You might be 5,000, 4,000, or 2,000. It depends on how applicants are. The second thing is about master students. You will get monthly about 15,000 NTD. So it depends. It's actually, it gets vary from university to university. If the universities are, national universities, then you will get around 5,000 to 15,000. If it's private universities or it's not national university, maybe you will get less. For doctor students, PhD students, there is monthly stipend up to 40,000 because it gets vary from university to university. But my university, they offer around 40,000. Okay, now we will talk about the deadline. So because in Taiwan, there is two sessions. One is spring and fall session. You can apply for both. For government scholarships, there is only March intake. You can apply in March and your result will come in June or July. So this is all about the government scholarships. When we talk about the university offers scholarship in twice in a year, in March intake and also a fall session. So if you want to apply the fall session, the applications are open right now. You can apply on university website and you don't need to contact professors, because in China or in Korea or in Malaysia, you need to approach professors and ask him for acceptance letter. But when you talk about in Taiwan, you don't need to ask any professor for acceptance letter because you really don't need it. If you can approach professor, that's plus point. But for admission process, it is not mandatory for you. So this is the beauty of actually Taiwan, that you should come Taiwan and study here, and you can apply directly. You don't need to apply through third party. For example, embassy. You can apply directly to university and they will shortlist for selected candidates. So these are some points which we should keep in our mind for deadliners. Okay, this is one of the important website for those who wish to study in Taiwan, because in this portal you will see all kind of scholarships. For example, here you can see Taiwan fellowships and scholarships. The first one is Mofa Taiwan Fellowship. So Mofa is basically government scholarships, where you can take a look and you will see below the candidates how to apply and what are the required documents and what are the deadlines and where to apply. So you will get all the information. And the third one is MOE scholarship that I have already discussed with you. So I think these scholarships are very very easy to get you people, because many Indian students apply, but from Kashmir, I think only few people can apply for the scholarship. So I can tell you that this scholarship is very easy to get because you don't have that much competition in this. So I encourage you people and want to motivate you people. Please apply for the scholarship, and I hope you will get the benefits of these scholarships, and you will have a good learning and research in Taiwan. So these are some points that I have discussed with you, and I hope that if you have any question and if you have any, I mean, suggestion for Taiwan and anything to ask, please do email me. Below it's my email, so you can email me directly. I will love to talk about more about Taiwan study. So these are some important things that I discussed with you. So at the end, I am very thankful to take a scientist, which give me the opportunity to talk about the Taiwan admission. So I'm always available for you people. So thank you so much for Dr. Khalidul and Dr. Syed and all other participants who listens and who bear us. Thank you so much. If you have any question, you can ask me directly. Thank you, Dr. Saab.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shabir Saab. You can stop sharing your screen and we can have all the panelists on the screen now. Okay. Thank you. So first, we have a lot of questions, but I see that majority of the questions that we have received through the Google Sheets have been taken care of through by different speakers. But we have some particular questions that we will take up first from the Google Sheets, giving preference to those who registered with us. Umayya, can we take up a question with you first? There's one Samir Ahmed Thokar. He has sent us a question that he has pursued his MTech in electronics, and he is saying that, is it better to do a PhD from a foreign university or an IIT in India? What do you say, Umayya?
I would say that the comparison between IIT and abroad, it's not actually, I can't compare the two since both are prestigious. Leaving IIT, I would say the other common universities in India, I suggest that students should if a student doesn't get an opportunity to study in IIT, if a student gets an opportunity to study in IIT, it's really good. But for example, the student doesn't get any opportunity, so from the undergrad level only, the student should prefer to move out and gain much more experience if they want to do good in research rather than going in PhD or masters. So I hope I answered the question.
Said Taha has sent us a question. I would take up that question with Anayat since he discussed a little bit about it. Anayat, I would rephrase it in a way that most of the students who study their UG programs in Kashmir, they finish their degrees at the end of, for instance, September. And when we talk of different fellowships, we largely see that either they have their deadlines before the time that people back home finish their degrees. So is it possible for some of the fellowships that we discussed, particularly for China, that if a student has not yet finished his UG program, he expects it to finish at a later date? So can he apply for a master's program or, for instance, a PhD program?
Yes, I think they have that option in China if you are in your last semester, and usually the results of the scholarship in China comes out in almost in the last week of July, and the joining will be in the September. So if you are graduating before July, that is June. So if you are currently in your last semester and you will graduate before June, so you have to get a that's called a HOPE certificate. That's kind of a bona fide certificate you will get from your college or a university. They will mention that he is currently studying in the last semester. He has cleared the required credits for 7 semesters, and or if he is in the 3-year bachelor's course, he will mention he has already clear 2 years, and he's in the last year, and he will graduate before June 2022. So on that certificate, he can apply. In China, there is an option he can apply.
Okay, so thank you, Anayat. We have a number of questions. I will couple them together. Either Sarwar Saab or Ibrahim Saab can take them up. That we see predominantly back home, and coupled with the number of factors that are prevalent in Valley, we see that our master's students do not have publications at the end of their degree. So how important are research papers when we apply for a PhD program? Or if somebody doesn't have a research paper in their PhD program, in their master's program, should they or can they apply for a PhD program, for instance, in Korea? Sarwar or Ibrahim?
Yes, I think if someone already has a research experience or has some publications, I think that's a plus point. Whenever he or she contacts some supervisor for if he's interested to study, pursue research in his or her lab, then I think he would love to hire him, because already having a research experience is always better. If, for example, as I discussed about Global Korea Scholarship, for Global Korea Scholarship, if someone has no research experience, then I don't think there's any problem. One can apply without those, but having research publications is always good.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Ibrahim. So since some of the universities, if we talk in mainland India also, they have got a master's program which is not having, for instance, a thesis at the end of their master's program. So they only have a detailed curriculum which does not involve, for example, projects or thesis program. So Sarwar, does that play a role in getting a PhD fellowship in foreign? Because you have applied for 2 different fellowships, and you got one of the prestigious fellowships in China also, which is a presidential fellowship. So how important have been your papers or your thesis played a role in you getting a PhD program?
Thanks for having the question. Whenever we do apply to any professor, the first thing that he asks about the thesis. What was your thesis in the master's, or what was your thesis in the bachelor's program? So thesis is the most important, or apart from that, he will ask if he's not having any thesis submitted or that, maybe if he's having good skill on the any programming, like there is MATLAB, there is Python, or there are other machine learning programs, or any these machine learning techniques. If he's having a master in any of these softwares or any of these techniques, I think there can be some chances that he can get admission in South Korea or any other university. But most probably, I will think you should have a thesis, or you should have some sort of experience related to research project.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Sarwar. Okay, so we have number of questions which are, for instance, is this subject available? Is this subject available? So I believe that which is not just true for one country. All the countries that we have been focusing on today, almost all the subjects are being offered at different universities. So I think whether that be plant sciences, whether that be, for instance, computer sciences, or whether that be biotechnology, for instance, the fellowships are covered by the government. Specifically, some of the we have received a few questions which are related to medical sciences. I don't see any of the fellowships either in China or in Korea or in Malaysia which are given to these students who want to pursue their medical degrees in these countries. So coming back to Shabir, there is one question. So since you are in a university which is having an interface between, for example, management sciences and, for example, biotechnology, so how good is it to pursue a course in life sciences in Taiwan?
Well, actually, it's very good, because in Taiwan, your professor can help you if you don't understand sometimes. For example, I have a professor, he knows my background, and I'm getting much benefits from him because he personally teaches me. So I think it's very good in Taiwan. But if we talk about in China, your professor, he doesn't involve in your subjects. He says, "Oh, okay, it's your thing, you can do it by yourself, don't ask me these things." So in Taiwan you can have discussion with professor, and professor can ask assistant, please help him, or give him some alternative. So I think this plus point in Taiwan. But I think because I have also experience in China, so it was not possible in China. So I think it's plus point in Taiwan. You can have many options. You can ask lab mates. You can ask a professor about this thing, and he can help you.
Okay. So Umayya, I have two specific questions for you. Since you have had experiences from different universities in for a college in at back home, then a university in New Delhi, and then now you are doing your PhD from Malaysia. So how important are, number one, internships for PG programs or PhD programs? First one.
Actually, internships are really important if we did masters from India. Since masters from India since I did my masters in Jamia Ahmedabad, I would say my project was very limited for a very short period of time. It was just 4 months, so I couldn't gain much research experience. So I would suggest that internships for a period of 1 year or 6 months are really important if somebody intends to go for a PhD abroad. Since here once I see the undergrads here, especially in Malaysia, I see them that they are doing final year projects which are really equivalent to PhD projects or master's projects. So once you get an internship or a project in a reputed institute, either IITs or NITs, anywhere, so that will be a plus point if you go directly from India to go for a PhD program. If you don't have any research experience in masters, then it will be a difficult situation because you have to start a new platform, and once you see your juniors have much research experience rather than you, so starting new at the PhD phase is difficult rather than starting in the undergrad. So I would say that internships are a boon if we do after masters.
Okay. Thank you, Maya. We'll come back to you. I mean, I would like to add up to this. Whenever we have any session, or for instance, we have our own mentorship program, we have Spectrum program also in offing. So we always tell students that you have to make your CV, you have to sell yourself when you are applying to different universities, be that for instance for jobs or be that to study higher education. So the takeaway message from all the presentations, if I sum up all these presentations minus the different procedures, we see that it's very an added advantage if somebody is volunteering, that Anayat specifically talked about. So since you have been volunteering for JK Scientists for a long period of time, how has JK Scientists kind of influenced you or, helped you, Umayya?
I would actually like to thank the JK Scientists. I'm a mentee of the first Sprout 2017 program. It is because of JK Scientists that I came to know about a lot of research opportunities I wouldn't know if I would have been completing my master's and going back home. So it was actually I would say I was very lucky that I came across this page on Facebook and I registered for Sprout program, and the mentors in JK Scientists, they helped me a lot in drafting my CV, whether it's cover letter, CV, or SOP. So anytime I would just ask them, they would help me. So here also I came to Malaysia, it was through JK Scientists mentor, it was through Dr. Riaz and Dr. Shabir Hassan. So they were the mentors who helped me to come, who suggested many things. So it was really, really helpful. And I would suggest students to register register for the JK Scientist Sprouts and Spectrum programs, wherein they will get a lot of exposure and a lot of trainings regarding how to frame or draft their CVs and where to correct them and what are the points that are missing. So a mentor is very, very important for a student or a mentee if they want to go for a higher education to abroad or any other prestigious institutions. So I would really like to thank JK Scientists.
Thank you so much, Umaya. So I have a very generalized question which I will take up with Anayat, and then I would like you to answer that also, because we have a lot of our females mentees or female members in JK Scientists. First, I would like this question to be answered by Anayat. So Anayat, how difficult has it been for you when you moved to Delhi to pursue your master's and then you moved to China to do your PhD? So was it really difficult? Was it a cultural shock, and what things you had to face when you moved to China?
I don't think so. It was a cultural shock. It was when it was lockdown in Kashmir in 2019 when I went to China. It was a total shutdown of network. And when I went there, there was already a community of Indian students in my university, and they came to receive me to the airport. And the professors and the lab mates are actually really, really kind, and they do actually invite you to the dinners and make you comfortable, and they always make sure you are comfortable here. And the best thing I know about China is you don't have to look for the accommodation. You will be when you will go, you will get your accommodation. You will be received by the university officials. You will get your accommodation in 1 or 2 hours, and that's the best part. You don't have to buy anything. Everything is settled down. So it was quite easy. I would say it was quite easy to shift to China than to Delhi, because in Delhi I was staying outside. It took few days to get that accommodation and everything. But in Shanghai it was quite easy. I would say pretty much easy. And I will also mention one thing here, that when I was shifting to China, I thought there will be like I would not be able to eat certain kind of food. As you have also lived in Shanghai, the food is easily available. I'm talking about the Muslim food, the halal food. The food is easily available. There are places you can go for and pray. You can offer the namaz. So there is not that much restrictions or differences. Yes, the culture is different, but I don't think it is difficult to live in China. It's actually quite easy.
Thank you, Anayat. So coming back to you, Umaya, since I repeated that we have a number of females who have joined us for our Spectrum programs or as our members. So we always, they always have it at the back of mind that it's very difficult for females to move out from Kashmir and pursue higher studies in different foreign countries, for instance. So what would be your suggestion to them, and how difficult has it really been very difficult for you personally to move out from home to Delhi and to Malaysia?
I would say it's not difficult. Yeah, you have to adapt to certain things, but not difficult. Usually we have that phobia that girls have that security problem or safety problem. But I would say I have lived in Delhi, and now I'm living in Malaysia. So it depends on you. It's not that difficult to stay outside if the environment is like friendly, or the say on a campus, or if you're living in campus, or you're minding your own business. And then I don't think that it's difficult for females or males both. So it's not making much difference whether you are a male or a female. So I don't feel any difference of this thing. So I would recommend that females shouldn't stay back because of the safety or security issues. It's quite safe. It all depends on the person. They should just mind their own business. That's all.
Yeah, thank you so much, Maya. So we are running out of time. We have had a long session today, but before winding up, I have one question, Mohammad Rafiq, but I will rephrase it for Server. So how important are research proposals for getting admission into PhD program? And since you have applied to a number of universities in Korea also and in China also, so what things did you specifically focus on when you wrote your statement of purpose and research proposal? Server, please.
Yeah, these two things, statement of purpose and research purpose, these are the basic two things. If you are approaching to any professor, the first thing he looks at is how you tailor your CV, how you tailor your research proposal. This is the basic thing. He will not take more than 20 seconds to check your CV, and he will not take more than 10 minutes to check your research proposal. He will check the novelty of your research proposal. If you are going to approach any professor, if we are writing to him that we have gone through your research profile, he will definitely check whether that student or whether that person has really checked my website. He has thoroughly gone through my research paper. This is really, really important. And while approaching, one should know that if you are going to apply, you should see what are the things you are going to change, or you should check the novelty. You should phrase your questions, or you should phrase your research problem in such a way that professor should be willing to accept you. Yeah, research proposal and statement of purpose or CV, these are the main things that the professor first visualizes them. Yeah.
Thank you, Savar. We have with us Dr. Zahida Kamri. Dr. Zahida Kamri, please. You have something to say, you raised your hand. Yeah, you can unmute yourself. Yeah, please.
Okay, yeah. First of all, thank you so much, Dr. Khalid, for having this session, which is much needed for our students back home. And I thank all the speakers for taking up time on this weekend. So I have a generalized question, which has been in my mind like for quite some decades, that what should motivate a student from Kashmir to study abroad, or to just get out of the comfort zones of them. So that is one thing. And how can JK scientists be like more effective? Because as you know that there are, I think, lakhs of students who still don't have this information with them about the scholarships, and they don't see the importance of these scholarships. So how can we motivate them, and what should be the motivating factor? So if every speaker can shed light in few sentences, we'll highly appreciate that. And thank you so much, all of the listeners as well.
Yeah, 2 minutes to each speaker, please. How can JK Sciences be used to its fullest? Because we have a lot of people back home who do not even know that, yes, really we can pursue a master's degree in foreign countries also. And in fact, we received a question on Google Sheets also today that, are foreign degrees really accepted in Kashmir? Yes, they are. Okay, so this speaks that we have a lot of people back home who really do not know, at least number one, that there are possibilities of pursuing a degree outside and that there are scholarships. Server first, how can JK Scientists be used to its fullest? I think you're muted. Can you unmute yourself, Server?
Okay. So sorry for the disruption. I think for the first question, it all depends upon the training that we are giving or that we will give to our students. There are many students who even don't know iota of the things that how we are going to approach different institutions, or what are the different types of scholarships in Asia, Europe, or any other country. This is the first thing. And other thing is we should give sessions like we are JK scientists providing or holding weekly or bi-weekly sessions. This is nice program to so that our voice, our feelings, or our emotions, that they reach to all the students who live in the far-flung areas, and some of the students even they lack the motivation. I think there are some seniors who can push them or who can motivate them how to approach, or how we have to go for the higher education, that there are a lot of universities across the world that they are waiting for them. Yeah, I think this is according to my opinion.
Anayat, can you answer this question? And then we will have a few more questions.
Yes, first of all, thank you, Zaida ji, for asking this question. So I will say a few points. First of all, she was asking that why should people from Kashmir go outside? So you can on first hand explore the other parts of the world. That is the first point. You can on first hand, you can see and explore the different cultures. And one more important thing I should mention here is that you get financially independent when you get scholarship. So you're not dependent on your parents, you're not dependent on someone, you are funding your education by a scholarship and you are financially independent. That I think should be the most important point, because back in home, we are not like brought up in that way that we have to get financially independent at an early stage of life, maybe in 20s. So we think, yeah, we can just rely on our parents' income or something like that. So this is one of the most important point, I think. So talking about what should be improved. So if I go back when I finished my bachelor's degree, so someone at that point of time told me that you should go abroad, you should apply to different scholarships. And when I started searching, I found it very complicated. So I think the key to getting a scholarship is if someone is able to help you and describe you the process. So when we look at the process, it feels complicated. It feels like it's very hectic. This is not for me. I cannot do it. So I think we have to be more, we have to pass the information in more simplified method or way, so that they get to understand that the application process is not that hard. You can spend a half hour or 1 hour daily for a period of 1 month or 2 months, and you can get a really good scholarship. And plus point is that all the universities, like for example, if I talk about China, so it's quite easy for an international student to get admission in my university. It is Tongji University. But for a local student, it is really, really hard. Like for the local students, it's a dream university. They have to go through a process of exams, like 4 or 5 exams, then they can study there. So for international students, there will be a simple interview. If your professor has been he has agreed to recruit you, he will conduct an interview, and that's it. The process is really simple for the international students. So that's an advantage. So I would say you should go and you should explore the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And to add up to the last line that you, just spoke about, when I was working at Shanghai Jiaotong University, we were part of the recruitment process for master's students. When I was doing my postdoc, I was a senior scientist there. So it was really very difficult for Chinese students to especially enter into Shanghai Jiaotong University. And if somebody would enter into Shanghai Jiaotong University, they would feel that it was a dream come true for them. Exactly. Which was, for instance, a little bit easier for international students, which they have a little bit edge because some of the scholarships are reserved for international students. So we have Dr. Abdul Hasib with us. Hasib Saab, please. You are unmuted and please ask.
Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Khalid, and all the speakers out here. I was listening to it. It was nice, well explained for all the scholarships. So staying here, I have what I can understand. What is the sort of hesitancy there is among the people or among the students over here? So the hesitancy, actually, the Anayat, what he was talking about. So people here, students here, they think that okay, fine, there are fellowships, there are universities, but हमारे लिए मतलब what they will talk like, they will talk ठीक है इसका हो गया, मेरा काम हो जाएगा. It's the simplest thing they say. It's the simplest thing. Yeah, ठीक है हो गया इसका. They will get to know through this online course or whatever it is, but still they feel that it's difficult. It's a dream come true for them, and it won't be possible. So I want just if any of the speaker or a couple of speakers will add up here that it is not really that difficult. One has to, obviously there are some difficult points. There are people to help out there, but anyone can do it. If anyone is interested, he or she can apply, be it a female, be it a male. But this is a main thing is that people don't really try it. They think that it's not possible. Fine, I cannot do it. Fine, ठीक है, इस बंदे ने किया, उस बंदे ने किया, but it may not be possible for me. So for those people, I want you people, couple of you at least, to add a couple of lines, so they will feel it motivated and they will go ahead with it. So they know the fellowships are there, they know universities are there, but if you can add up something, because I know this is being here in the Kashmir, I know how students think here. So that would be very better if you can just add something in this direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Hasib Saab, for raising this very important point. First, I would like to override other speakers. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah,
so,
sure,
giving my own example, when I finished my PhD from a university in India and I wanted to do a postdoctorate. So you will not believe me that I made a separate email ID for sending out my emails to different professors, and I would have specifically wrote almost over 800 or 900 emails, which I could just tally at the end of getting my postdoctorate. So the key to getting any opportunity is, number one, it needs dedication. Number two, it needs perseverance. So failures must be taken as positives. I mean, somebody is writing to you. There are a number of professors who might reply to you. There are a number of professors who will not reply to you. And we should take it as in a positive manner. For example, if somebody is writing to me for a position, I don't have a position, I see his CV, I don't want to reply him. And some professors are very generous enough and they reply to you that I don't have a position right now, you can approach me at a later period of time. So we should learn from those opportunities and keep on continuously applying to different locations. And if I got it, I don't think that I had anything more in my CV or something extraordinary which others did not have. But I would say that why I got a postdoctorate, I got second postdoctorate, I got another opportunity, was that I kept continuously emailing, continuously contacting professors around the globe. So this question I would like to ask Sarwar also, since Sarwar has done his BTech from Baba Ghulam Shah Badshah University. So Sarwar, I would put it this way. Number one, how did you know about pursuing, for example, a degree in Korea? And how important is this question that Hasib Sahab put up, that students back home think that it's not needed to move in foreign countries, or for example, I don't think that I will be able to get a scholarship in foreign countries. Sarwar, please.
Yeah, I think it was 2016 when I moved to New Delhi. The conditions in the valley were not good, so I was actually going for the coaching, but I was in the Jamia Millia University. Then soon my brother was doing PhD there in the physical sciences. So there were other guys, and they motivated me that the world is far behind. Yeah. There's also world is seeking you, so you should approach different universities. You need not lose heart. The first thing that they motivated me was that you should not lose heart if you are getting rejected by 2 or 3 times or 4 or 5 times. And one of the senior, he told me that he sent almost more than 1,000 emails and he didn't reply. He didn't get any response from the professors. The reason was that when we usually approach a professor, either we don't look at his profile correctly, or there are some sort of like mismatches or some sort of gaps in the research proposal that we are approaching him in our emails. That is the first thing we should consider this. And the second thing is, when I approached it to professors and I didn't get any response by 10, 12, or 15 times, or when how many times I applied. But when I just tailored my CV or tailored my research proposal and tailored my statement of purpose in such a way that motivated the professor, that I got nod from Pusan National University and I got response from other universities also. And if any professor is giving you a response, that means he is giving you a finger to hold. The only thing you need to do is you have to hold his hand also. So this is the main thing that we should focus on. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarwar. Anuj, can you please unmute yourself? You have a question. Anuj is our Sprout mentee. Anuj, can you unmute yourself? I think he's not around. Yeah, you can unmute yourself, Anuj. I have allowed you to unmute, please.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, sir, thank you so much. And this is quite an informative session, and I have enjoyed it a lot and get a lot of information. Sir, actually, I have a question that, is there any special preference given to the students who have already have a acceptance letter with respect to the application for versus the students who are directly applying for any scholarship or something like that? Is there any special preference given to the students who have acceptance letter?
Yeah, Anuj, I would like to answer that. Since I have an eye over Korea, I have been previously in Korea and then I moved to China. So while this is not true for Korean universities, but this is true for Chinese universities. If you're applying, for instance, through CSC, that's Chinese Scholarship Council, the first requirement for availing a Chinese Scholarship Council scholarship is that you need to contact the professor. So professor sends you this letter, invitation letter, and you apply with that invitation letter for the CSC scholarship and university admissions. This is not true for Korean universities. I hope I answered your question.
Okay. And sir, is there any special after getting acceptance letter, is it a chance that our application get rejected afterwards also?
Yes, some applications do get rejected. When I was in the committee to accept PG students, so we did reject some of the applications because either their CV was haphazard, or for instance, somebody in management sciences had sent an application to chemical science professor or like that. So based on those, yes, sometimes the applications can also get rejected.
Okay, it means that mere having a acceptance letter doesn't mean that you are
It gives you an edge, because although that's a requirement for Chinese universities, and obviously it gives you an edge. So I think we have more questions, but I think we have almost 2 hours into the session. So finally, before we conclude, we will have just 1 minute to each speaker to say some parting remarks. Shabir Hussain first, 1 minute to end this session. What do you say for students back home? 1 minute only, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you once again. I want to say that we should improve more because many students in back home, they don't know how to apply and they are very scared how to approach professors and how to get the scholarships. I can tell only one thing: they should show their interest more, and they should get a good mentor so that he will guide him or she will guide her throughout the application process, so that they will be a successful candidate. This is all about my that I want to convey. So I hope that in next session we will have many candidates who will approach us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shabir Sahab. Server, what are your parting remarks, concluding remarks, please? What's your suggestion for students back home?
Thank you for having me in this session. The message that I want to convey to all those students who are back home, that the volunteers and the education centers group, they are instrumental and they're always at your beck and call. If you have any problem or if you need any type of help, you can always ask the education scientist, or even you can email the members the help you needed in application process, or if you need any help in the how to tailor the CVs, or how to make the research proposal, or how to write the statement of purposes. These are the basic things that we need to convey them. And I hope the message of the scientist reaches every home, even in the apartment areas, or even those who even don't know out of the things, what are the different types of scholarships, or what are the criteria, what is the criteria for different universities, all these things. And I hope that this is my answer to all those who are having back home.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarwar. Ibrahim Saab, what are your concluding remarks and suggestions in 1 minute to the students back home?
To students back home, I will only say, move, don't stay only in Kashmir. World is beyond Kashmir also. There is not only Kashmir University or IUST or other universities based on Kashmir. There are a lot of universities which are better than the universities we have. And the infrastructure the universities has, just believe in yourselves. You are talented. Even the universities, top universities in the world, you will get it's easy to get an opportunity to study in universities like Harvard or MIT. So believe in yourself, just move and explore the world. That's what I want to say.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim Saab. Umayya, so what are yours? concluding.
I would once again like to thank JK Scientists for organizing this event. I would like to conclude by saying that the process might take time, but you have to be consistent in this process. I would myself, from my experience, I got the reply from my professor after 6 months of the email. I kept continuously emailing, and I have emailed almost 300 to 400 professors continuously from different universities. So it should be consistent and patient in this process. And lastly, the thing is that students, mainly from Kashmir, they self-doubt themselves. They feel like they're not capable enough to go abroad, or they don't have much experience. They won't get into this process. So this thing should be ignored. I think that should be tackled by applying and be consistent in this process if you're really intended to go out and seek help from the experts, the mentors who are really expert in these fields. And one thing I would like to add in this, since we are in the era of internet, JK Scientist is widespread world around, but I think it should start from the primary level. Since like in tuition centers, the students from the 11th, 12th standard should be educated regarding the scholarships, because at that stage they are very enthusiastic. So in the tuition centers or in +2 colleges or schools, they should be educated about these scholarships, and they can avail more.
Yeah, thank you so much, Umaya. So Anayat, 1 minute to you also. Please have some
Yes.
concluding remarks, your suggestions for people back home, students back home, I'm sorry.
Yes, I would address to the bachelor's undergrad students who are currently doing their bachelor's degree back home, that if you do not have research projects in your curriculum, just utilize your vacations. You get 2-3 months vacations, utilize those vacations, do some internships, and important thing is enhance your skills. Learn some new skills. New skills are needed everywhere. If you do not have research experience and you have some new skills, you know some skills, a professor can recruit you on that basis if he thinks that these skills are needed in my lab. So learn new skills, utilize your vacations, do internships. If your degrees are not included, like the projects or something like that. Yes, that this would be my message.
Thank you so much. And to add up, I would suggest particularly targeting this undergraduate students. All NITs in India and IITs have got a summer internship program, which are funded in the sense that, for instance, our NIT, we have summer internship projects where each professor can take 6 students, and we provide them boarding and lodging and a space in the lab also for 2 months. So I think students in Kashmir, they need to come out. I think there are very less opportunities back home because part due to the funding problems in universities, which is true for all state universities, but for NITs and IITs, we specifically have a program referred to as summer internships, which is spread for which is of 2 months period, and we support students in terms of boarding and lodging. And in some cases also some professors pay them almost like 4,000 to 5,000 for those 2 months. So I would suggest particularly students back home that you need to come out, utilize your vacations, and you can do those summer internships in NITs or IITs. So thank you so much everybody for joining us today. And also, before concluding, I would like to emphasize here for all the viewers who will be watching us on YouTube or who are joined us today, be it for instance Server, be it for instance Umayya, for instance Anayat, for instance this Ibrahim Sahab. So what is common amongst all these is that they have been volunteering for JK Scientists, and they have the dedication of giving back to our own people. Shabir also, I remember a personal case which Shabir, for instance, handled, that a guy from Kashmir was getting one of the finest scholarships in China, but he could not send his documents to China because of the post 2019 lockdown. We managed to send his documents. We are really thankful to all the people who have joined us today for your extremely helpful nature, for being volunteers with JK Scientists. And again, I would like to emphasize that the mentorship, the volunteering with different organizations, for example, JK Scientists, adds up to your CV. Avail those opportunities. Thank you so much. So Dr. Zahida Kamri, please have some concluding remarks before we wind up this session. Just a second. You can unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, I have already spoken. So I think we are really thankful to all the volunteers and especially the speakers who took up time to give back to the society, because this JKS platform is a huge platform that can be utilized. But unfortunately, back home, as we know, the mindset is different. But we are here for a change, and we want to change the mindset as well as the education system, what is going on there. So we need to be the change ourselves, and whoever is volunteering here, we thank them for this their time and efforts whenever is needed. So we expect all other to do the same and come forward to help the students back home. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zahida. Dr. Mir Zuhur Gul, please, any concluding remarks for today's session?
Thank you, Dr. Khalid. Thank you, JK Science team, for organizing this wonderful session. And I, on my personal behalf and on behalf of JK Science Outreach team, would like to thank the speakers. As Zahida said, that they have spent some time from their busy schedule, and they have given the information for our students back home, that how these scholarships can be availed and how they can move out from their homes and pursue their dreams. And it is a wonderful opportunity. I am hopeful that they have got the information, and if they need any assistance, they can write to us and we can connect them with these mentors. I'm sure they are quite helpful. They will be quite helpful, and they are willing to do that. And we want that our students back home should pursue their dreams, and there shouldn't be any hindrance in that. So thank you once again, the speakers. It has been very kind of you to be part of this outreach program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zuhur Saab. It has really been a nice session today, and we have waited for this session for a long period of time. I remember that I spoke first to Anayat way back in 2020, I think, when we wanted to have an outreach session specifically targeting China. So, but we had a lot of things to cater, and finally, better late than never, we did the session on universities in South Asia, scholarships particularly. So thank you once again, Dr. Ibrahim for joining us, Sarwar Hussain for joining us, Umayya for joining us, Anayat Ali and Shabir Hussain for giving us time. So before we wind up, I would like to thank my teammates, Dr. Zahida Kamri, Dr. Zahoor, Dr. Asif, Dr. Saima, and Umayya, of course, is a part of outreach team also. They have been doing a wonderful things for organizing all these sessions amidst all the busy schedules. We are taking the time for our students, and we appreciate speakers also for taking their time. Thank you once again for joining us. Thank you so much.